Hello, this is Godel. Welcome back to Feed the Beast Interactions. So as I mentioned at the end of the previous episode, today we're going to be doing AE2, or like beginning it anyways, and it's going to be a big old conversion because I basically want to get rid of almost all of the logistic pipe stuff up here. We're still going to be using some logistic pipe stuff throughout our base, but like all of the stuff up here for sure I want to get rid of. Um, and yeah, we're gonna have like a framework of logistic pipe because ultimately I think it's still really good for passive processing of chemical stuff. But otherwise, we're definitely gonna want to switch to AE2 where we can. Anyways, let's show off what I've prepared so far. So I took our ME controller that we made last time and the quest reward that gave us 7 more, and I stuck it in here. The plan is basically to have a set of P2Ps. If you're familiar with AE2, you'll know what I'm talking about. So this cable out here is going to come out from the back, and it's going to grab a bunch of channels via P2Ps. Then we're going to have some more cables coming out up here. One's going to go up and kind of feed through the base. I might have another one going over here and doing some stuff. I made this space over here for the lazy AE2 molecular assembler that's included in the mod pack. That's like the AE1 molecular assembler. If you're familiar, then you're familiar. If not, then you'll see it when we get there. Um, so that's just going to be our general plan with channels down here. Obviously, I haven't hooked up anything yet. I've mostly been focused on making stuff. So, let's see. Material prep. Got a lot of materials ready to go over here. Like, just check it out. We got 42 interfaces. Hold up, let me take this out of here before I forget. We've got 42 interfaces. We have a bunch of 64K ME storage components. Those are going to be for storing us a ton of stuff, ton of storage. It should hold what we currently have at bare minimum and then be expandable for a good while. I'm just over here making some quartz fiber manually because for some reason the recipe for this is really weird. 1,000 buckets of glass is kind of annoying to make when instead you could use like, you know, what would the number be here? Hold on. Bust out the calculator. Like 7 times 144? Yeah, if you just use 1008, then it would be exactly 8. Exactly 7 glass blocks, but the way it is like this, it's like it's 8 extra millibuckets you get from 7 glass blocks, so you end up having to do a lot of recipes if you want to have exact change. I'm just not going to worry about having exact change. Once this is done, I'm just going to throw out the excess glass, and let me see how many fibers we have. Yeah, we have a couple stacks. That's going to be good. Yeah, so I've just been prepping a ton of materials like that. I have my lazy AE2 assembler here ready to go. I have memory card here, P2P tunnels here, and let me show you an interesting thing I did to craft these 64K chips. So this is a really uh, resource-intensive recursive craft where you have to use 3 of these 16s to make a 64, and then you have to use 3 of these 4Ks to make a 16, and then you have to use 3 of these 1Ks to make a 4K. And then these 1Ks take this. So you end up having to do a lot of 1Ks when you're crafting these. So much so that our assembler will just like straight up get clogged if I try to order them all or order a bunch of them at a time. So I made a simple system over here. This is just using a translocator with a diamond on it. Diamond means regulate. And I have it set to regulate 39 64K storages in here. And when I turn this on, basically, it's going to take the 64K storage I have in there, and it's going to scoop it up and stick it in here. And it's going to stop when this hits 39, and you're wondering, where does this one come from? Well, I have a active supply here telling it to make 1. So once that 1 disappears, it goes and crafts another one. So by doing that, it's able to craft 1 at a time and avoid any big old traffic jams in the crafting tubes there. All right, let's get rid of that molten glass, and then take our quartz rods back. I feel like I needed to make more cables is what I was looking at here. And also I need to process some Fluix crystals. Fluix crystals are a little annoying in that you have to pulverize them in an MV pulverizer, and this is the only MV plus pulverizer I had, so that's why I've brought it down here. So, just letting that process while our ores are running. We ran out of like iron, so I'm emergently processing a ton of iron here. Let's go check our current storage, make sure it's not full. Okay, it's very close to full. We do be having a lot of tin right now. Why do we have like a single spruce log in here? Get out of here. Trash can. Spruce sapling, trash can. Spicy chicken, keep that one. That one's good. Small wood pulp though, trash can. Get out of here. So yeah, we might need to clean our storage or put another chest to clear some room up in here because we do be having a lot of stuff. Let's look at our storage right now. Looking for stuff that's not already in a storage drawer. So I think flint. Flint is not in a storage drawer, right? Yo, why do we have so much flint? Did I accidentally make that much flint? So flint is our biggest stack, and tin is our biggest stack, not in a storage drawer. Okay. I'm a little at odds how I want to handle these really, really big bulk items in AE2 because I don't necessarily want to have a bajillion storage buses hooked up to a bunch of barrels. And in this mod pack, we have the storage drawers mod at drawers. But the storage drawers kind of suck, to say it lightly. They don't store terribly a lot, so first of all, we can't even make the top tier upgrade. We would have to make this upgrade, which would take EV conveyor belt, which takes it's kind of expensive to make one of those guys. And then some Enderium plates, not too bad, and then titanium gear, not too bad. But that would give us 16 times the base value. So that adds 32 times 16. That makes it so it can hold 512 stacks, which is... Oops. 32,000 items, and like 32,000 items for one item is pretty good, but we would need a lot of them. We'd need one for each item type, unless I was to use the smaller 2x2 drawers, which are... Here's 2x2 drawers. These can hold 8 stacks per drawer at a base, but they are... and they can hold 4 types of items, but they are going to be 1/4 the amount of storage. So with one of those, it's going to be, let's see, 16 times 8. So it'd be 128 stacks, which is 8,200. So we already have more than 8,200 of these. So on those drawers, if we were to use those, we'd need to use multiple of these diamond upgrades. If only we could get the emerald upgrades, then I would probably be more considering it, but they're just gated so far in progression. Like even the LV, the storage upgrade one, which only doubles your storage here, is kind of like a little lackluster for how much you feel like it costs compared to like these guys. But anyways, I might be looking at a logistic bridge situation, and logistic bridge is a Are we missing something here? Oh no, there it is, bridge pipe. Logistic bridge is a mod that lets you connect AE2 and logistic pipe systems together. So that basically they can communicate. But I'm gonna see what we kind of end up going with. I forgot if I mentioned this, by the way. I put a separate breakaway to be able to catch purified galena here. And this one is also set to catch sphalerite. We're going to need galena and sphalerite eventually for doing this recipe to get indium concentrate, from which we can get indium. But that's like a down the road problem. I just started like processing it, planning it, etc. Okay. And then I need to talk about... We've talked about our channel plan. We've talked about the controller room. I've talked about a bunch of stuff that wasn't on that list, but we need to talk about the vacuum freezer. So I noticed a problem with the vacuum freezer that I set up last time. So you might have remembered that I set up this hatch here to be locked to liquid helium, this one locked to helium, and then these are just like feeding themselves in a loop. Well, the problem was that this hatch got full of liquid helium, and then this hatch was stocked with helium. So the vacuum freezer was like, okay, there's helium in here. I'm waiting to process helium, but there were hot ingots also waiting to process. And for some reason, it did not want to skip the helium and process the hot ingots. It just wanted to do the helium. So as soon as I got the helium out, it did the hot ingots, and then when the helium returned, it was stuck on the helium again. So I had to set up a system where basically the input hatch is always going to be empty, unless there's actually enough helium that needs processing. And the way I did this is that I have a pump on the top that is set to import, but the pump is controlled by a machine control cover on the side. And here I have it set to it needs a redstone signal of 15 to turn the pump on. And then right here on this side of the output hatch that holds helium, I have a fluid detector cover that basically is going to send a redstone signal into this block when this tank is empty. Therefore, the most that can get into this hatch is going to be 8 buckets, because this is a ULV hatch. Then this one can hold 16 buckets, so no matter what, whatever comes to this hatch should get fully processed, and then just be waiting in a buffer over here. And once this buffer is basically full, then it's going to stop pulling liquids in. So I can demonstrate that with a plunger really quick. So pulled out the liquid helium. You saw it just sucked in the helium from that tank there. Kind of an odd amount of helium, actually. So here it comes with more helium. Sucked a little bit more in over here. So it's starting to make some liquid helium, and now that it has, I think it needs 2 buckets to hit that threshold of being like, okay, we are no longer empty. So now that this is, having no more room in it, or not being empty is what I should say, it has turned off the pump, so the helium is now staying in this tank, and it's going to finish processing what's in the input hatch, but once it's done, it's going to be like, okay, we done. We don't need to pull any more helium in. Why does this look weird up here? It has like a weird amount of helium in it, 3840. But anyways, so it is currently processing here. There you go, top that off. That was a weird amount of helium for it to have in it. So right now it's not going to be able to process any more helium. Okay, and it's turned off. So this amount of helium here, it's not actually able to process this because that's not a valid recipe, so it would not get stuck on this. I'm just gonna I was gonna grab it, but okay, there we go. Wasn't letting me grab it for a second. I'll just grab it and stick it back in our helium storage. Oops, didn't mean to take a bunch of helium out. How's our centrifuge over here going? Oh, it be going, all right. So yeah, that's how I fixed that. So if you do end up having a vacuum freezer using it for hot ingots and liquid helium at the same time, you do need to keep the fluid input hatch not full of helium, or else you're going to have a problem. Anyways, I am currently continuing to work on prepping stuff. I have a bunch of interfaces. I have a bunch of P2P tunnels. I have a bunch of storage components. So I want to craft a few more things. I think the next thing I wanted to craft was some dense cables. So like a stack of these, maybe? Missing quartz fiber. That's right. That's why I went and made a bunch just now. Alright, so dense cables. Let me search for Fluix cables instead. So Fluix cables, get a stack of those. It's going to be making a bunch of them, so hopefully there's not going to be some kind of collision here in our assembly machine with different kinds of fluids. So it's doing polyethylene with the quartz fiber and fluix dust to make the glass cables, or to make what is this making? Fluix cables? Yeah, so this is making fluix cables, and then the glass cables, it's going to be covering them with PTFE to make the covered cables. And covered cables, specifically smart cables, is going to be like the backbone of our basis cable. So, all right, so we have 48 dense ones here. And I'm also going to request smart cables, like 4 stacks of them. Oh, we don't have enough fluix. Yay. Let's go down a bit. There we go. I need to go put more fluix to crush up down here. Fluix dust specifically. Alright, well, we have a lot of iron that's trying to process over here. Yep, that's a lot of iron. We have like 2 of our crates are full of iron. Since we had so much gold, I'm actually having this washing machine also do iron at the same time instead of, whoops, this washing machine over here. So the washing machine and the chemical bath are both hitting iron at the same time. But anywho, I'm gonna wait a little bit for the stuff to process. It's just gonna be a while. I could accelerate it, but like, yeah, it's just gonna be a while. So, I mean, go ahead and accelerate it, I guess. Okay, yeah, we have a fluid conflict here, so I need to. Oh, we have liquid polyethylene in that cell. Okay, so I had to take that out so I could put this one in. That's definitely gonna make the sound glitch, isn't it? That is like one of the main reasons I want to swap over to AE2 as soon as possible, because doing these huge recipes, oh my god, that sounds horrible. Doing these huge recipes that require a bunch of different fluids and stuff is just like not working. It does not work. They break, and then you have to go there and manually unclog it. And yeah, the fix would be using multiple assembly machines and trying to like have the minimal number of different fluids in each one. Let's see if we can get some more smart cables. Okay, that's going to be enough for now. So I basically need, if the PTFE gets in here before the polyethylene, I basically need to sit here and babysit it, because the PTFE is going to be blocking the covering of these cables. But no, we are good. It did, in fact, get that. The polyethylene in here first. There's probably some PTFE waiting to insert into this machine, but like as soon as this polyethylene is done, it's going to be like all set. But anyways, I'm going to be prepping more materials off camera, and then we will begin the official setup. So see you soon. Okay, those cables finally finished crafting up. And then I decided, you know what? We need, I need to finish crafting these 64K storages up. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this in there. So we are at 36. We need to craft 4 more. So as you can see, it is just spewing items all over the place to craft the replacement for which I just took. And yeah, that is just a lot of processing it has to do between each one of these. So that's why I'm only doing one at a time. So yeah, I'm going to leave that to be running and crafting one at a time of those for a little while. I think they take like 5 or 10 minutes to craft each. So I'll be back again once that's done and these are ready to go. I have some other things to do on the side, such as publishing prior episodes. I fell a little behind on uploading schedule here, mostly because this episode's actually been taking such a long time to prep for. Like, I've been prepping materials for like 2 or 3 days now. But yeah, this episode's gonna make it out there eventually, so. And sorry if I was hard to hear there, I decided to go for a lean back. Anyways, I'm gonna be back once all of this stuff is done processing up, and I think we're gonna be ready to start building this, right? Like, I can't really think of anything else we need at the moment. Oh, I might want a advanced memory card now that I think about it. I'm gonna have to learn how to use this thing. Advanced memory card's a little tricky to use. Let's see if, you know what? I'm gonna turn that off just so once this crafting finishes, it's not gonna immediately start another one. And then we can craft one of those after, but I'm not going to request it while there's a bajillion things over here crafting, because it's just going to cause a traffic jam of items. Anyways, I'm going to let that craft. Be back soon. Okay, got that. That 16k, or not the 16k, the 64k finished crafting up. So we're now at 36 plus 1. There's the plus 1. So we only need to make 3 more. I'm planning for 40 of them, so... but I went ahead and I crafted these illuminated panels so we can get a network tool, and one of them I'm going to combine with a memory card? Where's our memory card? This one. I think it's not liking the memory card I had, so we have an advanced memory card. This is what we're going to use for P2P. Am I going to want a regular memory card? I don't know. I'll see if I need a regular memory card anyways. Advanced memory card's a little tricky to get used to, but we'll see what I need. Anyways, now that those are crafted, I'm just going to continue crafting the 64Ks. It only has to make 3 more, and then it's gonna be done. So, yep, there it goes again. Like, all of this is happening every time it runs. It's kind of crazy, actually, of how much it really needs to process here to get all this done. Apologies for that. My phone went off, and it's right next to my microphone. Alright. We'll be back once this is fully done processing. I got some stuff I need to do on the side for now, so see you soon. Alright, I guess while we're waiting for that, I can go down and set up... We can set up our molecular assembler, or our mass assembler, I think is what it's called. So I made the space to set it up, and I made it so that we have enough room to do a 5x5x5 cube. So this is how you set this thing up. You set the frames. So there's our frames. Looks like I made a few extra frames, but that's okay. Oh, wait. Nope, exact amount. Perfect. Alright, so the frames go on the edges of the cube. Then the vents go in the center of the faces. Alright. And then finally on the inside, we are going to put our... we're going to put our actual units of stuff in here. So on the inside, you can have 3 things. You can have pattern encoders, which is what stores the recipes. Can we, like, whoopsie. Didn't actually mean to break a hole in that. I was seeing if it had an interface you could open up. So here's the pattern providers. Those will give us the patterns. Coprocessors kind of control how fast this thing goes. So I made 9 in there. And then I made 9 pattern providers, which is a lot. And then you can also have air in here if you're not ready to fill it up. So I'm just going to be like, all right, there we go. I am ready to close it up. And then you also need a controller. And I think the controller can go anywhere. Can it go up here? Anywhere that's not an edge, maybe? There it goes. Well, hold on. Does it work in the edge? Cannot assemble. Okay, so it cannot go on the edge. It has to go on the face. So there is our controller. And we're just gonna bring a... Actually, I think I'd like the controller, like, over on this side. Let me check where you have to hook this thing up. Do you just hook it up, like, on the... anywhere on the multi-block? Like, does it count as a cable? I'm not sure. So that's not hooking up to the multi-block right now. Still not hooking... Whoops. That's the wrong block. Still not hooking up. Okay, so it looks like we have to plug into the controller. Alright, in that case, I will put the controller closer to this corner. Sorry for the indecisiveness. And then we're also having an I/O port. So an I/O port lets us import recipes via, like, a pipe or a tube or something. And that will be nice so that we don't have to run down here whenever we make recipes that we want to put in here. Anyways, the plan I was thinking for down here is that this is going to be kind of our server room. and I wanted to keep storage down here. So I'm going to be running just a raw set of channels from, not here, this one, but something like this to over there. Whoops. Did not line that up properly. And here I'm actually going to need to chisel these blocks a different color so that they don't touch. Or, well, you could paint them or chisel them, but right now I do not have paint and I do have chisel, so I'm going to be using chisel. What looks cool in here? Let's use, like, white looks pretty cool. Matches what's going on in here. So those will not connect to the one that I'm going to have to go up, which, let's see, for that one, let's make that one light blue, sure. And we're going to need 2 of those so they don't touch. All right, and from here up, it can be a different color. It can be just the Fluix color. So those are now 2 separate sets of channels. Down here, we're going to have our storage bays for all of our ME drives starting up. So let me go and get these really quick. Where's our ME drives? Oh, they're in my inventory. Wow. I missed that. Okay. I forget if ME drives count as a cable. Let me see really quick. I have something else that I made called the network visualization tool. Which is here. There it is. I didn't recognize the icon. So we have this network selected currently. Okay, so I think these actually do connect in like a line like that. So I was thinking we could just have like, you know, a cable coming down connecting these, but if these all count as connected, yeah, those apparently count as connected. So those should all have channels. We don't really have to worry about that. So right now this should be 9 channels coming off this branch, and then I'm going to have a storage bus here to receive the encoded patterns. We're also going to need to get power down here at some point. Well, it doesn't have to be down here. We're going to have to get power into the controller, which we can do via an energy acceptor. So energy acceptor, once again, a thing that I should have crafted and I forgot to. How are we doing over here? Did we just start a fresh one? I think we just started a fresh one. Energy acceptor, what's the recipe for this? Yeah, I don't think we have any enriched alloy. This is going to be... this actually should be able to sneak in. Let's go ahead and request one of these guys. We don't have any soldering alloy ingots. We don't have any soldering alloy. Alright, come over here. Soldering alloy. Soldering alloy. Let's craft a stack of that. We don't have any lead dust. How about since we... Do we have lead ingots? Yeah, I think the deal with lead dust was that, most of our lead came from galena back in the day, and galena I just smelted directly into lead bars because lead dust and galena dust are not, like, compatible, so... Alright, and now we can go make soldering alloy. Like 2 stacks. We're gonna need it eventually. I don't know what circuit it needs, though. Not battery alloy. Jeez. Oh, man. Okay, it was circuit 3, and now we're gonna have, now we're gonna have that crafter be upset at us for reasons. We do have some extra battery alloy dust now, though, I guess. So that is lead. Lead, antimony, and what else does it use over there? Tin dust. A lot of tin dust. Okay, so this should fix its unhappiness with the state I left it in. Whoops. Okay. Alright, when we see it stop taking the soldering alloy away, which it has done now, that means it is done, and this is all extra stuff. I'll let it go ahead and finish crafting as much as I brought over. There we go. Alright, soldering alloy. Put this extra dust back. Okay, and soldering alloy, we don't have it set to cook, but we don't really, like, cook a lot of them. Might as well just set it to cook, though. I mean, it saves us a step from having to do manually. That was easier than just cooking it ourselves, even. Alright, so we're going to need one energy acceptor. And then we're going to need some energy storage. So, energy cell, I think is what they're called. And I think we're specifically going to want dense cells because certain things we're going to be using are going to be costing a lot of power. Can we get a creative energy cell? Yes, we can eventually, but we need some stuff we don't currently have. Like, we don't currently have a Lapatronic energy ore cluster, right? How do you make that? Oh, okay. Anyways, dense energy cell. How do we make this? This actually looks pretty easy to make. So let's cook one of these up. So we're going to need 5 regular energy cells. How many do we have currently? We have 4 of them. 6 energy cells, rather. So we're going to need, just to make another batch of this, we're going to need a lithium battery. Do we have batteries? We have some small sodium batteries. Here, let me go downstairs and look at something really quick, because we have our LV machines down here, and I think, yeah, they have lithium batteries. I'm just going to put these sodium batteries in here instead. One of them had a lithium battery. Okay, sodium battery I'm going to put in the extractor, and we can fill it with lithium later. So there's our lithium battery, and then what else were you missing? Fluix dust. I forgot that we can't automatically make that. We should have enough stuff to be able to make more Fluix dust, though. Let me make sure this thing is off, so as soon as the other stuff is done, it doesn't, like, get in our way. We don't need a lot of Fluix dust, so I'm just going to take these crystals down for now. Kind of cut the line here in front of iron. How's iron doing anyways? Okay, it's caught up. It's not making any more processed iron. It's not processing the backlog of centrifuge iron, at least. So it's fully in iron processing mode. Should have a good amount. Yeah, if we're back up to 1,000, that is good to see. Alright, so energy acceptor, we should be able to craft this now. Alright, awesome. The glass cable might be a problem here, because there is a lot of stuff in here. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up so we can cut in line here. And looks like we've triggered the audio bug. I love that. Did we get our stuff? We did get our stuff. So there's our 6 energy cells. We're going to need some Fluix blocks, which is stuff we happen to have the stuff to make in our inventory. That's nice. I'm just going to go put all of this Fluix to crush as well, just because every time I'm needing it, I'm having to go do that manually. Alright, then we're going to need some glass. So let's grab a bunch of that. Why is there quartz glass in here? Oh, did I not make the energy acceptor? Silly me. Alright, there's our energy acceptor. I'm just gonna put it in storage. It's set to go to this chest anyways. Alright, so glass. We got our battery, we have our Fluix blocks, and then what's our catalyst? It's a redstone. I will accept a redstone as a catalyst. That seems pretty cheap. Alright, so to make this guy, how do we make it? Can I go, like, layer by layer? Nope, okay. Well, I'm guessing because I only see 4 Fluix blocks that there's one in the middle that's obstructed, so we are going to go ahead and build it on that premise. Whoops. Drill too strong. Alright, and then the rest is just like glass, right? Yep, the rest is just 8 glass on the bottom. And then the fluids blocks up here before I forget them and accidentally put glass, and then I break it, and I have to go get more. Alright, and then we throw redstone. Alright, that's going to be our dense energy cell. Is there a quest for that? I haven't been following the quest book too closely in here. I'm just kind of like making stuff that I know we need. Does not appear to be a quest for a lot of the components we're making, but that's totally fine. Alright, there's a dense energy cell. I keep saying dense. That's going to just hold a ton of power for us. Might end up needing more at some point, depending on like how power spiky the system is. Gonna go fix this audio bug over here. In fact, I think we're gonna be... We're on our last storage component now, so I can actually go ahead and take this apart. We don't need this system anymore. It was fun while we lost. Hey, it didn't give us our diamonds back. What the heck's up with that? Freaking scammers. Why did I come out here? I don't know. Okay. I think we can start setting up our P2P stuff now. So let's get some smart cables. Let's get some P2Ps. I'm not going to set them all up yet. I am just going to set up like some of them. So for now, why don't we start with a bottom, and then we will add 2 more when we need more. Maybe the bottom and the backside here. So we'll start with 16 of them. So plop, 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 and then plop, 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 plop. Okay. And then we're going to hook these guys up. And then hook these guys up. And these are all ME P2P channels, which means they carry ME channels on them. Oh, I missed 2 down here. I was like, how did we get 2 extra buses? Alright, so right there, I just hooked up 16 times 32. That's 512 channels that we can now bring wherever we want in our base. We just have to take our, kind of like our root cable there. And then we'll have 7 more up here, and then 8 more on this side. So that's going to be another 15 times 32 channels to bring wherever we want in our base. I did want a storage bus here. In fact, here we don't need to have dense cable running over here, because there's only going to be 2 things connected, at least for now. I want a storage bus, and I don't think I actually taught our system how to make storage buses, so maybe I teach our system how to make these really quick. That would require us teaching them how to make a chest. Do I know how to make a terminal? We do know how to make a terminal, okay. ME chest, do we know how to make? We do not know how to make the ME chest. Okay, so let's do an ME chest recipe. This is a regular crafting table one. We can go right here in this slot. I keep forgetting that this slot is available to be having something put in it. That's where we had this before good circuit board. I took it out a long time ago. Okay, let's do ME chest first. Import ME chest. All right, and then we're going to need the actual storage bus. Ooh, sticky piston. I don't know if we know how to make sticky pistons either. Okay, just gonna stick it in here on the side. So storage bus. Import. I don't think we know how to make quartzite plates either. Oh, geez. Quartzite plates? We have some, but do we know how to make more? Doesn't look like we do. But we have some, so maybe we can get by with not needing to automate that right now. Piston, I'm pretty sure we don't have sticky pistons automated. Yeah. We should have regular pistons automated, though. So let me just make, like, I don't know, 32 sticky pistons. Really quick. Sticky piston, we can just use slime for. Do we have resin? How about I go use resin from our tree farm over here, since this is pretty much useless at this point, and we can use it for pistons, right? We sure can. Did it need a hammer? What the heck? That's rude. Okay. Let's go ahead and use this recipe. Specifically requires a hammer. Very odd. Alright, so now we have sticky pistons in storage for storage buses. Alright, storage bus. Go. Oh, I should have put these chests away so I could actually use them, but oh well. It's gonna go make a new chest from scratch. Alright, and then I'm also going to be able to put stuff in there. I think I'm gonna need a fuzzy card, because I'm gonna tell it, hey, only patterns can go in this IO port, but we're going to need fuzzy so that it can accept any pattern, not just like the one I tell it. So we need one of these, advanced card. Should have all of this stuff on hand, to be honest. Except iron. No, it had everything. Okay. Wool. Put the other one away. Alright, there's our fuzzy card. Where is our bus stuck at? Oh, it's stuck over here in the assembler, isn't it? Yeah, whoops. Whoops-a-daisy, I forgot this was going. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that at maximum speed. Let everything craft up a fury over here. I'm gonna accelerate this a bit here too, just so that these crafts can finish. I think it's on the last one now. Yep, that's the last one. And I'm gonna go fix the sound. Sorry, I keep having to go fix the sound. It is better than like logging out and logging back in, because that way to fix the sound took forever. Okay, I think we got our storage bus. And that was an advancement, not a quest, right? Oh, it was a quest too. Okay. Hey, we got two interfaces here. Why was it two different items? I'll just turn them into square interfaces for now. Okay, so we have a fluid interface quest as well. I cannot see the crafting tabs. So we can make one of these at some point. Are we going to be using these a lot? I don't think we are actually going to be using them a ton, but we will need them here and there. Okay. And then what else do I want to do here? What is this quest? This is the quest. Oh, that gives us some storage cells. I mean, that's nice, but like, don't really need them currently. Okay, let's go set up our storage bus. I think I made a pattern terminal already. Yeah, pattern terminal. And right now there's nothing in here, but what I am going to do is I'm going to take a blank pattern, and I'm just going to encode it with like some garbage. Like cobblestone makes, whoops. Cobblestone makes cobblestone or something. Can we do that? How do you change the mode here? Oh, there we go. Okay, cobblestone makes cobblestone. Encode. Alright, creates one cobblestone with one cobblestone. Amazing. Alright, and the reason I made this is because I want to stick it on... I want to stick the storage bus here. I want to have this have a... I want it to be insert only. I want it to be high priority, and then I want it to accept encoded patterns that are fuzzy. So that should accept any encoded pattern. So if I put a... Oh, well, I can't put anything in here right now because it doesn't have power. But if I put that in the storage system, it should go over there. That's the thought anyways. Are we done with our 64K things finally? Okay, yeah. Let's go and take this out before it crafts more. And we can finally turn these into discs. So to make these into discs, I'm just going to go ahead and... Do these stack? Ooh, these don't stack. Okay, well... Okay, I don't have any more storage housing, so I guess we're just going to have to craft up more storage housings in here. So we have 36 of these guys. Let me make sure it's back in storage before I request this. So let's do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So that's going to craft up all the stuff it needs for all of those. Since these don't stack, I'm going to have to kind of run them down here manually. So there we go. There's our first drives plugged in. They're going to be holding so much items. I am very excited to get away from this system, which is borderline teetering on being full all the time. All right, let's just... Can I just toss these up? No, I can't. Okay, so I need to craft them and then take them out. What are we waiting on here? Looks like iron. Iron, speed up, buddy. We really need to get the bigger multi-smelter. Alright, moving the next of the drives down here. Alright, that drive is full. We can now start filling up the next one. I'm gonna just do a cheeky and drag them down there with the magnet. I don't know what happened there. The inventory seemed to have kind of glitched out for a second. Alright, there we go. So all of them are on the floor. Please don't have lightning strike me or something ridiculous. Grab my magnet. Make sure they go through the floors. Alright, here we go. And turn my magnet off now, so we don't have to listen to that ruckus the whole time I'm doing this. Alright, this should be full. Alright, there we go. 4 drives filled with 64K storage. You'll love to see it. Alright, I think it's about time we brought the cable up and then maybe plugged it in, perhaps? So we're going to need an energy acceptor and then a dense energy. So this is where our cable is going to come up, and this is where we're going to route it around our bases in our subfloor. I'm going to need to route it under some logistic pipe things here and there. That or move some of the stuff. I don't know yet. Because I did not make my subfloor 4 blocks tall, so it's going to either have to go down, or the logistic pipes are going to have to go down. Or... yeah, something. Anyways, so this is going to be going all sorts of different directions. For now, let's kind of bring it towards our machines and stuff. I could totally have it go over here and go between these pipes and then come over here. That would be kind of funny. I don't know if I want it to do that. Maybe I do. I don't know. I'm just looking here, and there's like so much stuff down here. A lot of the stuff is gonna go away once once we set up the AE2 system, but right now I'm like kind of stun locked on deciding where this is actually gonna go. Let's have it come down this way for now. Alright, and then here we're just gonna have to bridge this gap. I think these are actually connected, so if I break this connection... yeah, okay. Those are connected through the basement. Like, down here, there's a connection, so... this is a redundant connection that this can just pass through. It's going to slow down item delivery to our request table a little bit, but... hopefully we don't really need it for that much longer. This is blocking our stairs. Oh, no it's not. Okay, cool. Alright. Got that all the way across the bottom of our base. Can we tap into our power line here, or is it going to use too much power? That's what I want to know. Let's see. Is this a necessary connection, or is this redundant as well? This pipe here seems to be redundant. Yeah, so let's go ahead and cut this one. And... I don't think you can vein mine these, right? Nope. Okay, so we have to sit here and break them one at a time. You can't right-click wrench them or anything. That's cool. Alright. Let's have a dense cable coming over this way. Alright, I'm just going to try to figure out this spaghetti really quick. I have a basic pipe here. Let me make this be basic. Remove that one. And then this is redundant. Okay. And then we can run our signalum cable and energy acceptor over here. Gotcha. Alright, so we'll put our battery right here. We will put our energy acceptor right here. Let's get our signalum cables. I think we need some extra. We only have 3, and it's gonna need 5. Oh yeah, and yeah, our storage is much further away now, because it has to go down, and then over, and then over, and then up, and then over. That's okay, though, because the storage is on its last legs. 1, 2, 3. Alright, we just need one more cable. And when I plug this in, our AE system should come to life. Let's go. Alright, and this battery stores 1.6 million RF, which is... What was the conversion ratio to EU? 1 to 4? So that's 800 EU per tick. Or that's 800,000 EU, my bad. And we should see some light down here. Yeah, there we go. Our controller is alive. Oh, why is it saying red, though? Is this actually an invalid controller? I forgot what the controller criteria is. Let me look at a ME controller really quick. Oh, it's got to be 7 blocks maximum. Well, that kind of puts a small dent in the plan I was going for here. How about for now, I'm just going to keep it with what we have. But I'm going to go ahead and... I'm just going to go ahead and hook these up as we had them like that. Are we using perfectly as many maximum channels as we can? No. Do we need to? Probably not. Alright, so this is still going to be a ton of channels there. We only lost 64 channels by doing that. Only. If I want, I can go up here, and then now we have, we have more blocks for channels. In fact, do I want to do that? We should go ahead and do that, shouldn't we? Because this is effectively what it just was. No, hold on. This one's got to go here. And then that one can go there. Okay. Disconnect that bit. Alright. Connect those up. Alright, so this is now 8 channels. Takes a second to update. Yep, 8 channels and 8 channels. Okay. We did not actually lose any controller length there. It just appeared like we did. And then we'll have another one when we need more P2Ps. We'll have another one come up here and grab some from along the top, and then we'll have one more that can come over here and grab them along from the side. But yeah, that is our controller to life. Here's all of our storage disks to life. Here's our storage bus here to life. Let me see if our thing over here works now. I can go ahead and request a terminal. Arcane crafting terminal. I have that from a dungeon is where I found that one. Alright. I don't know how long that arcane terminal is going to take, or the crafting terminal is going to take to get to us. But I'd like to go ahead and make sure this pattern goes in to the cube. And then the other pattern goes into the cube. Alright, so there's our terminal. Just gonna plug it in up here. All right, so right now if we put a piece of cobblestone in our system, it is going up there. You can see this drive is now green. We can even go here and we can see, if we press the recipe on the cell, we can see where the items are in the cell. But I don't actually need that in there. What I wanted to test is this guy. So the encoded pattern disappeared from our storage because it should have gone in here, right? Yeah, there it is. Nice. What is this? Oh, this is a filter to search. Okay. Okay, so I also want to check that any other kind of encoded pattern is not going to work. So this was one with cobblestone. How about this one now? Encode a new pattern here. So creates 9 cobblestone with 5 cobblestone. Ooh. Let's make sure this goes into our storage. There it is. Okay. And then just to make sure it's not just seeing the cobblestone part, let me just do clear this. Let's do plunger makes diamond chisel. That's how that normally works, right? So this should go in our assembler. Perfect. Okay, cool. Now, one thing to be careful with is that when I'm making these, if I put any non-crafting table recipes in here, I have to come down here and get them. In fact, can we even extract from here? So extract only. Can we take that out? We can take that out. So if I'll see. Maybe in the pattern terminal, I will have a view cell that lets us see this, and then I'll create an anti-view cell for our other terminals to not see them. But yeah, that lets us directly input and output from our... Wait, where is the pattern? Oh, that's right. We set it to extract only. If we set it bi-directional, then we pull it out, and we can see over here this drive is going to go back to cyan. Hello, drive. Drive, you're empty. You should not be green. Okay, it was just having an update issue. All right, if we drop it back in here, it should go in there. Okay, perfect. We pick it up, drop it in there, can get it out, drop it in our terminal, get it out. Okay, everything works. Perfect. And blank patterns don't go in there, right? Okay, good. I do not want blank patterns going in there. I don't know if they even accept to go in there. Like, do you accept a blank pattern? No. Okay. So it really only accepts what it can actually put in there. All right, so we can take this away for now. Oh boy, we're gonna have a lot of stuff to hook up over here, aren't we? I guess I'm gonna start with... Maybe we should set up a logistics bridge, just so that temporarily, at least, we have a system set up for moving stuff between stuff, if you know what I mean. So let's go see bridge. So we need to make 2 things. We need to make a bridge pipe. So logistics bridge block and then logistic bridge. So let's go make a logistic bridge block. I think this might be the last thing we program here. Bridge pipe. And go ahead and summon the rest of the items we need to craft that. I was going to say hopefully it doesn't need to craft anything else, but of course it needs to make FPGAs and advanced chips and stuff, because why would we have any of those, right? Go speed up the furnace over there to help it out. So just waiting for the FPGAs and the advanced chips. I just heard the advanced chips finish. They will be coming over any second now. Boom. Okay, there's our bridge pipe. Is that not a quest? I thought that was a quest. I guess it's only the bridge block. That's fine. Go ahead and craft this guy up. Printed engineering circuit. We're out of these? Did I never teach these how to make that? I must not have taught that how to actually make those. Okay, let's go and make printed engineering circuit is made with a diamond plate and the graphite, not the graphite, skystone, what the heck? Skystone lens. which is currently sitting in there. I've only automated the AE stuff in here, by the way, so that's why I'm not worried about that right now. I just need to remember not to, request stuff if I go and I make, like, RAM chips or something. So that's just going to need a second over there. Oh, in fact, it didn't even have a... We didn't even have diamond block. You had to cut the diamond block. Alright, there it goes. Engraving the chip. Etching it with hydrochloric acid over here. Items going all over the place. Alright, AE bridge is set up. Gives us some crappy... what's it called? Some crappy storage chips here. I'm just going to go ahead and take these storage chips, and I'm going to shift right click to take them apart. And I'm going to store the storage housing away, and I'll store the cell component as well. We will use that in the future, but we're not going to use it at 1K size. Also, that gave us another 1K fluid storage from that quest. Okay, so we got 2 1K fluids, and I did not need to do anything for that. Lapis rods are so easy, wow, because we have infinite lapis from our good friend the Lapis Chicken. Appreciate that. Oh, by the way, I just saw this and remembered. Remember how I was like, we need to get 9 nether stars so we can get another star plate? There was a nether star plate in here as a quest reward for having 1 nether star. Oh well. Alright. I think this is like a wrapping up point. Wrapping-ish up point. Let me hook up our logistic bridge, and I remember when I did this before, this kind of like created an ungodly amount of lag, so if it's super duper laggy, we're going to need to do something else, but let's go ahead and see if this works. So I'm going to hook that up there. That is our AE bridge. I don't know what simple and smart mode means. Let's see. Migrate from early game into middle and late game. It's natural to transition to applied energistics. Helps you bridge your 2 networks, everything accessed in your LP network, including crafting. Creates a unified system for you to use as you migrate over. And then... this is the part that's going to be a little scary. Please don't break the game. Okay. Okay. AE bridge is set to smart mode. Okay. So are we chill, or are we like lagging up a storm? Forge TPS. So far the server is stable. Okay. And then let's go down and look at our terminal we have down here currently. Alright, so we can access all of our crafting, but we cannot access our storage. That's one thing to note. So if we say craft like, wait, no, we can access this stuff. It's just gonna like summon it from over there. So if we like say craft us a stone drum, it says it's missing a stone drum. Okay, if we say craft us an amber, we have no crafting CPUs. You need crafting CPUs to request the stuff from over there. That's kind of silly. Anyways, this is... I don't know if we're going to be using it very long. Let's look inversely really quick. I'm going to put my time in a bottle over here. So our time in a bottle should be up here now in this guy. Yep, there it is. Let me go over here to our logistic system. Hey, I can request our time in a bottle. And I think it's just going to pull it out of the logistic bridge and into the table. Okay. So this is going to be more for putting stuff in our AE system and then still being able to access it in our logistic pipe system until we fully move over auto crafting, rather than pulling stuff from our system into the AE system. In fact, I think we can go ahead and move everything over. Let's go ahead and do that. These will keep contents if I break them, right? Oh, thank God. Okay. Can you believe I did that without, like, testing it in a smaller setting first? Okay, so that's going to keep contents on break. Let's get an import bus. And then... Oh, good thing we made sticky pistons, am I right? Though the sticky pistons are in the far storage. So we have an import bus. That's how we're going to get the stuff in. And then we are going to make some... We're going to want to make some acceleration cards. There's a hyper acceleration card. Oh, but it only works for IO port. Okay. I don't think we want to use that. Let's just make acceleration cards. So ME import / export bus parentheses 4 means we can make 4 of them, or we can add 4 of them over here. So let's go ahead and make 4 of them. So craft 2 sets of this. The diamonds and redstone have to take the long way here. Redstone's even longer because redstone is redstone's over here. It has to go all the way back, and then it's at where the storage is. Maybe I'll just like bridge under here just so that this gap isn't ridiculous. Do I have some unrouted pipes? Yeah. Let me just reconnect this. It's not going to be walkable, but that's not really the point. I mean, you can walk around it. It's not the worst thing in the world, right? Okay. And then let's make some acceleration cards. Okay, I don't know if you noticed, there was like a big lag there when I did that. Kind of worrisome. I think whenever we're going to be querying to request stuff out of that bridge, it's going to potentially be laggy. ME interfaces can be used as a way to in-out materials from your system, as well as acting as a bridge. The bridge behavior, you can now use any interface to expose your system contents to other blocks, such as provider pipes from LP or even item interfaces from integrated dynamics. That tends to be laggy, as ME interfaces can do much more, so here's the solution. Storage exposure only does one thing, expose contents. It's more lag efficient and recommended to be used in cases. Also, it exposes both items and fluids. Okay, well... Where is our stuff over here? Why is our... Where are our fluix crystals not coming? Nether quartz is trying to cut in the cutting saw. Are we out of lubricating oil? No. I'm a little confused as to what is the issue here. Wait, what? Something is not working properly here. Like, the system is just suddenly not working at all. Okay, I think this bridge is causing some kind of problem here. What if I... Okay, so it's set in smart mode. We don't want that set as a default route, no. What if we change to simple mode? Does that fix stuff? Okay, there's some kind of problem with the bridge, I think. Let's break the bridge and see if that fixes our issue. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, item's suddenly going. Okay, let me wait for the items to pass before I break this. Alright, looks like the traffic is done. Replace that. Okay, so yeah, the logistics bridge doesn't actually seem to work. Cool. Let's go and get our storage into our ME system. And then deal with the consequences of doing that. Do I have some terminals? Before I do that, and then I can't autocraft anything anymore, let me make terminals. so that we can actually get into our system and start crafting stuff. So I like crafting terminals. Just like, we'll have a few of these around. So let's just do like 4 of those guys. And they're just going to be like kind of strewn about wherever. So crafting terminals. I'm a little nervous here about taking apart all of the machines to put this. Also, what is going on here? Oh, it's the terminals I just requested. Silly me. That's making a bunch of extra screws probably because I requested them one at a time, so. Alright, so there's our crafting terminals. Blank pattern we can put away, empty battery we can put away, bridge, and bridge pipe I'm just going to leave here. Doesn't give us any instructions for as far as what simple and smart mode mean, but like we saw it like broke our system, so. Alright, here's the big plunge. Here we go. I can actually, let me clear a bit more inventory space out, and then I can just take the chips in my inventory rather than moving the storages. So let's go ahead, clear some inventory space out. Okay, we have our import bus, and we have a way to get into our storage. This can go up here. All right, this should be enough space for our chips. So just take the module out of here. All right, I am holding a lot of items on me right now. If I were to go and look at my save file data, it would probably be huge. All right, so all of these are unplugged now. I'm gonna steal one of them. And we're gonna go down here. Gonna go into our, just right here is fine. Gonna plug in the import bus. We're gonna give it 4 acceleration cards. And then we're gonna put a card in there, and it should just suck everything out of the out of here. So there it goes. It's kind of slow. Can we speed it up further? I guess I can make another one, but let's see. Can we tick accelerate this guy? Does seem to be going faster now. Alright, so this is what I'm going to be doing for the next few minutes, I guess. Oh, I guess I have an idea here. Let me go get some translocators. That's right, they're all in our inventory. Don't suppose we might be able to luck out and guess which one of these has translocators in them, can we? Not that one. Tin dust. Uh-oh, where's this dust coming from? Oh no, we don't have a place for this to go right now. Hold on, I can fix this. Let's get an interface really quick. I'm just gonna get an interface. Oops, didn't mean to throw that on the ground. Did I run next to a basic wire somewhere? Yes, here. Okay. So I'm going to stick this right here, and I'm gonna open up the basic pipe, and this is now a default route. Okay. So this is going to now collect anything that was being sent to storage before. It's going to send it here instead. Yep, there it goes. Okay, good. And then that's putting it in our system. All right, crisis averted. Turn on the magnet in case there's stuff in the floors and in the walls. All right, doesn't seem to be. All right, let's try to find that translocator really quick. I guess what I should do is, well, this is full, so it's not going to try to send stuff here. But I want to take 3 of these guys and then look through them really quick. Oh, this actually stays filter, so. Oh, here we go. I can just put the thing in and out and grab the next one. There's some. Okay. So 4 of those. Get some glowstone. Oh, there happens to be glowstone in here. Awesome. All right. So we have now these 3 guys. And I'm going to stick them over here. Put a chip in this one. We're going to stick our translocator to insert on this side. And oh yes, there we go. Perfect. And then I'm going to give these glowstones to do it very fast. Okay. There we go. And now I can accelerate this guy. And it's basically going to be sucking in stuff super duper quick now. And then as soon as one of these guys are empty, I can fill it with the next chip over here until all of my chips are empty. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing this, and then I'm just gonna set up a simple little interface for us to access the items. And then next time we're gonna go more into actually like converting our current setup over. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode, I think. I'm gonna sit here and finish importing thousands and thousands of items into our storage for the next, I don't know how long this is gonna take. The next little while. If you're enjoying the series, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Goodbye.